Hello, everybody. It's been a while, and by a while I mean just a day or two, but a bunch of stuff happened, and I think we need to talk about it because I've had a little bit of time to kind of think about this whole thing. I'm still not entirely sure the whole thing wasn't some kind of weird drug hallucination, because it just seems to get weirder and weirder by the moment. But let's see if we can work through some of this together. So I was actually going to do a video probably tonight or tomorrow maybe about the aftermath of the full-scale airstrike on Iran. And just take a look at... One second. At the full-scale strike on Iran and just take a look at... what's happening with that. So, let's see here. Just making sure that this is running. Okay. And I was going to talk about the violation of international norms. I was going to talk about the uranium's missing. I was going to talk about all of these kind of things. But no, apparently the whole thing was just irony, bro. The whole thing was just kayfabe. The last 3 weeks just didn't happen or something. I don't know if they were it's just okay. Well, let's just get into it, shall we? Let's get into the mess that we find ourselves in. So Trump, as I was literally coming home from work today, just posted this on Truce Social 11 minutes ago. So this is pretty much as breaking news as it can possibly get. So we'll just read this together. So I'm just changing this. Immediate truce with Iran. Okay, so we'll talk about this, and then we'll have to go back in time or something. This is Back to the Future or some kind of stuff like that. Okay, let's see here. All right. So this is what Trump posted. As I've said, and I'm going to keep saying it. Oh, he has a hat that says Trump was right about everything. Okay. I'm going to go really hard at Trump on this one. I just... And the sycophantic MAGA people who are drooling over him over this one are all really... I don't know, they're all really disgusting me. I thought some of these people had more principles than this, but they don't. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm kind of... I just got home from work. I'm just kind of getting things together. Okay. Sorry, I'm just sharing the link. Okay. So Trump posted this literally... like I said, 10 minutes ago. Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions. Iran, don't do it. Don't do it, Iran. It's a trap. This is the third time. It's... You know what? There's a saying in Texas, I think it's in Tennessee as well. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, we can't get fooled again. This is the third time that Trump has pretended that there's going to be peace negotiations or they're going to call the whole thing off. And then just went back and on it. So we'll just finish this and then I'll get to some other stuff. Final missions for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Why is war capitalized? Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world during each ceasefire. What the? Who wrote this? Yeah, we'll get to that Assad in a minute. Like, it's okay. So Israel gets 12 extra hours in order to launch missiles. I don't know. So okay, the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire. I don't know this. You know what? I don't really get this. I'm sorry. I find his writing difficult to read. An official. Why does official have a capital? End to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful, on the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will. I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence, why are those capitalized, to end what should be called the 12-day war. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel, God bless Iran, God bless the Middle East, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world. So, if you go to like Twitter, there's a bunch of MAGA people who are like really excited about this, and they're saying like, "Oh, Trump is bringing about peace." Oh, look at this. Oh, I'm sorry that I was doubting you and stuff like that, and all that kind of thing. Now, as I said, if I was Iran, I would not trust this. I would not accept this ceasefire because I don't know why you would. This guy snaked you twice in an extremely short period of time, and I don't know like why you would put yourself through it like again. So maybe just take a step back. So, and I didn't have enough time to really do show prep, or I forgot my notes for this. Let me see if I can recall. So the situation we had heading into this is that Trump had said that there was going to be 60 days of negotiations, and if it wasn't resolved at the end of 60 days that Iran had abandoned its nuclear program, then there's going to be trouble. And I've seen some people say, well, Iran didn't do it in 60 days, so it wasn't a sneak attack because they were attacked on the 61st day. But America didn't attack Iran on the 61st day. Israel did. So America didn't honor the ultimatum. Like, so Trump is like, well, we're going to attack in 60 days unless they surrender. And then 60 days passed and they didn't attack. And then another country attacked. So that happened. But once again, I consider, and I've seen a lot of different sources for this, that what happened, and this is what the Israelis are saying at any rate, and I have not seen Trump or any of officials in his administration dispute this. They came out and said this was a long con. This was kayfabe. We never expected these negotiations to go anywhere. The entire purpose of this whole thing was to get Iran to think that there was a diplomatic solution coming up, so it let its guard down, and so we could launch a sneak attack on them. And that was the entire plan. And then Trump said some stuff that made it sound like that was also the case, and there has been no denials of this. So until I hear a better explanation, I'm going to go with that. That at least on some level, this whole like thing was a setup. And I mean, once again, if it was not a setup, why was their talk scheduled for 2 days after the Israelis attacked? And like Trump makes ultimatums all the time. Does anyone remember when he said that I'll resolve the Ukraine war before I get into office? And then it was 24 hours, and then it was a week, then it was 30 days, and now it's just kind of become like something that might happen at some point. He did a ultimatum to North Korea. He does ultimatums to people all the time, and he never actually like followed up on any of this. So so that's kind of just the thing I want to put into context is I don't think the ultimatum really meant anything to me. When Trump makes an ultimatum, how I interpret it as, if we aren't making progress in 60 days, then we'll do something. To me, it's just kind of a way to kind of kickstart things to try to put pressure on the opponents. The truth. Okay, thank you, Mundane Matt. Matt Mundane the second. That's helpful. What was I saying again? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, so I 100% believe that Trump is complete. Well, assuming that this wasn't a cope that they made up, but all the evidence points to the fact that Trump and Israel were having fake negotiations with Iran, who was negotiating in good faith, and they were making real progress, and all of that was just to lure Iran into a false sense of security so they could do a sneak attack. Now, people can call me like a moral F slur or whatever, but I don't know. This really bothers me on a fundamental level. Like, this is, I think, fundamentally evil thing to do. I mean, this is like a diplomatic norm that goes back basically forever. Like, people forget that, like, in the medieval era, the Trojan horse was not seen as like a genius strategic move. It was seen as like the archetypical example of treachery, and abuse of like violation of guest right and stuff like that, violation of negotiations. And Ulysses is like in the 8th level of hell in Dante's Inferno. It's not as if this hasn't been like a major diplomatic, I don't know if you want to call it a faux pas or something, but they, like, as far as we can determine that, like, I don't know, just using negotiations as a cover for a sneak attack is a level of just, no, the negotiations didn't break down. They were going to, there was like 2 days, they were resuming negotiations in like 2 days. And America didn't even attack them, Israel did. So that happened. So I think it was last week, Trump said he was going to wait 2 weeks before he decided that he was going to go into war against Iran. He said, "Look, we're doing some back channel diplomacy. Iran and Israel might be talking. We might be able to work out a deal. We're just going to slow down a bit, and I'll decide over the course of the next 2 weeks, and I'll make my decision." And I think it was less than 24 hours after he said that, when they attacked Iran. The U.S. came in. It's the U.S. basically said, "Look, we're gonna go back to diplomacy. We're gonna try to figure this thing out. We're gonna try to cool off a bit." And then after they did that, like, they snuck attacked them again. And my understanding is the B-2s take like 36 hours to get to Iran. So I don't know what the exact timeline is, but I would not be surprised if Trump wasn't saying that, like, we're gonna give it like a maximum of 2 weeks. We're gonna try negotiations while the bombers were already on the way there. So they did it a second time. And I don't know. I just find it really gross. And if I'm another country, why would you ever trust America? Like, it's like, to me, it's not just that Trump attacked Iran and went against everything he's promised and everything his base wanted, but he did it in just such a disgusting way, and he like basically bragged about it. Um, so I mean, if we want to talk about if we have to relate everything to Nazi Germany, because they like to relate Iran to Nazi Germany. Um, there was a country in the 1930s that did a lot of negotiations, that came to a lot of agreements, a lot of deals, as Trump would say. And even after the deals were being made, they would tend to sneak attack people. So it's kind of funny how that happens. So the thing about it, though, and kind of the hilarious thing, let me find it, is this entire gay op was for absolutely nothing. Okay, let's see here. Iran moved. So it's starting to look like the centrifuges in uranium were actually moved prior to the airstrike. So we have this article from the New York Times. Officials concede they don't know where Iran's nuclear stockpile went. It just disappeared. Yeah, I'll get to Lindsey Graham in a second, Asuka. There's a lot of stuff to cover. It's gone. The it just disappeared. Who would have thought that, like, the Iranians were smart enough that after Israel attacked it, they decided to move the stuff out in prediction that maybe America was going to get involved. So I don't think we know where the stuff is. I know the uranium, we're pretty sure, has been removed. I think the centrifuges have been removed. They evacuated everybody out of the location. We don't even... So even if they did destroy the complex, it doesn't look like the stuff wasn't there. It looks like their princess was in another castle. And so the Ayatollah Khamenei said, we moved enough to build some nuclear weapons before Trump struck. And I think, like, I've seen a shot of this. There was dozens of trucks that just showed up at the location and very clearly took everything away a couple days before the attack. So I know the New York Post is kind of a gossip rag, but yeah, a bunch of trucks came in. Look at all those trucks. And I guess they just took everything. I mean, 820 kilograms of uranium doesn't sound like that much, really. I mean, I guess you have to radiation shield it, but it's not that much in terms of overall weight. So that was probably moved out. The other equipment was probably moved out. So we violated sacred international norms for nothing. For basically no reason. Now, okay, so we'll get to the other stuff. So, congratulations! It's time for world peace. Okay, let me go down here. Just trying to find this. Tried to find the regime change quote. Okay, here we go. So on Saturday, the day after the attack on the Iranian nuclear facility, we had the top three guys basically in the administration come out and very clearly state there is no regime change. Like, regime change is not going to happen. This is about denuclearizing, denazifying, and demilitarizing Iran. This is not about carrying out regime change in Iran. So Rubio came out and said this. J.D. Vance came out to say this. And what's his name came out to say this? What's the defense minister's name again? Hegseth. All three of them came out and said this on Saturday. Came out and said this on Saturday. And then the next day, Trump tweeted this printout. It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MIGA. You know, the irony is, you know what other country starts with the letter I, who a certain U.S. president wanted to make great again? Iraq. So, I mean, isn't this basically the same thing? It's like we have to carry out regime change in Iran to nation build to save them from the evil, oppressive government that's ruling them. And so he put this out, and I just say, like, to me, I think the worst aspect is not necessarily the fact that it's such a blatant lie, and it's a lie that the rest of his administration put out, and then literally within 20 hours, it was completely and totally reversed. I don't really get, like, why. Like, what was the benefit from this? What was the benefit of getting all your surrogates to go out and say something and then just make a Truth Social post that completely contradicts it? Like, I don't... Does anyone know? Okay, I'll look it up in a second, Duke of Memerton. I'm just going to give that a second to develop. So, what was the point of this? And then, like, the next day, we had the... he's trying to raise... So, Tom Massey was, like, the only person who was against this. And he's against the big, beautiful bill, and he's, like, one of the only congressmen who doesn't take money from AIPAC. So Trump is going to raise a super PAC to try to remove him from power. Once again, we have this idea that because countries have people who yell death to America, that's a legitimate reason to try to blow them up. Is kind of the impression that I kind of get from a lot of this. So Medvedev came out and just completely, like, felted him. Medvedev revealed that at least 2 countries were offering Iran free nuclear weapons. I would guess that would be Pakistan and North Korea. I'm not really sure who else it is, because China and Russia are both against proliferation. The other thing, and I've seen people make this point, is if the U.S. is taking the position that countries aren't allowed to have nuclear energy, despite signing the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, then the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty is basically dead at this point in time. Because my understanding was it was countries that signed it agreed to not pursue nuclear weapons. In exchange, there would be no restrictions on civilian nuclear power. So that was... Yeah. 1 second. So the U.S. basically took the opinion that Iran is not allowed to have nuclear power. They never definitively proved that they had a nuclear weapons program. In fact, once again, their intelligence is so retarded. We had estimates that Iran was 3 days to 3 years away from having like a nuclear weapon. How can you be that unsure? Like, it's just, I don't know what worries me. Like, just the evils, like, and I'm going to keep using that term because I do think I agree with Dante. The lowest level of hell is reserved for traitors. I don't think, at least to me personally, whatever kind of faith I had in Trump's character is gone. I don't know if he can ever realistically earn it back. But if Trump does something good, I will continue to support that. But as a person, I've kind of lost any affection for him I had. Maybe I'm being dramatic. I don't know. It bothers me. I don't like that. It was just the way, maybe it's the way I was raised. But yeah. So Iran had to do a retaliation. So Iran fired a bunch of look at the ceasefire tweet. Which one? What are you talking about? Mysterious North Carolina? Okay, if you want to tell me which thing I should be going to find this, then I'll be happy to. So this, yeah, Mysterious North Carolina. I already went over that one. Did I cover his feud with Medvedev? I covered it a little bit. No, Mysterious North. We covered this already. What was I gonna say? So yeah, so Iran fired a couple like slow, poorly aimed missiles at an American air base in Qatar, and they informed them ahead of time so they could shoot down the missiles. So that wound up happening, and that was their lame response. Like, once again, I hate this whole if we can like bomb you, but if you shoot back at us, then you're the aggressor. You know what it kind of reminds me of? Like, let's say you're walking down the street and you've got your I don't know, you could say Starbucks or Tim's. I like McDonald's. So you have your McCafe. You're walking down the street and an urban youth comes up to you and just smacks it out of your hands, and it like spills all over you and like burns you. And then he's like, "Yo, what you gonna do about it, you pussy? You just gonna stand there and take it?" And then if you make any kind of semi-aggressive action, him and like his urban youth friends will just jump you and beat the shit out of you, and then go to the police and say that it was a hate crime. It is kind of how I find the U.S. attitude towards, and the Israeli attitude towards the stuff that they do. So let's see here. The fuck little Timmy gonna do? What you gonna do about it? You think you're a big man? You want to hit me back? I don't know. Maybe that's a bad metaphor, but let me see here. Okay, let's just go. I'll bring up Agenda Free TV, or I'll bring up Al Jazeera, and let's see what's going on.
Because it's a weird thing with the 24 hours. Well, it looks to me like they've gone down a lot. They've gone down from around 74 to 65, which would be over like 10%.
Okay, I don't know what that is. Okay, Al Jazeera.
Donald Trump has really bucked all tradition, and it is very much his style to be making this announcement on his own social media platform. And that also is telling of perhaps the time.
Okay, I don't see anything about oh, here we go. Israeli soldiers uploaded footage today on social media showing them recklessly shooting into civilian areas despite the ceasefire. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. Wait, what's this? Iran has not received any ceasefire proposal and sees no reason for one, a senior Iranian official told. So is this like a net? Wait a minute. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Did Trump just make it up? Like, did he just say that there was a ceasefire? By the way, you know what? I don't want to get into a fight with someone, but Red Eagle Politics, I thought you had a bit more integrity than this. Let's see here. Let's see what the Ayatollah has to say. Those who know the Iranian people and their history know the Iranian nation isn't a nation that surrenders. Okay, so he hasn't announced anything about it. Trump confirms ceasefire. Syrian girl Trump ceasefire is a trick. Okay, if anyone has like a source on the whole Israel's already violated the ceasefire with Iran, let me know just so I can look it up. Clear, what is the point of making up a ceasefire? What is the point of anything Trump does? I mean, I don't know if he, like, what he's doing at this point in time. I don't know if he's just lost it. I don't know if he thinks he's playing 4D chess, if it's strategic ambiguity, what the explanation is, but I just think the dude's lost. Like, I don't know what it is. And then we have all these like MAGA tards going, "Oh, this is awesome. Trump was right about it. Trump didn't betray us by doing that." Also, we also have there is the cult that this isn't a war. Like, I don't get it. They're just like, no, it's just we just attacked them with bombs from the sky and blew a bunch of stuff up, but it's not a war. So I don't think Iran has done it yet. Iran has. I'm trying to find like a like an actual source. Senior Iranian official announces Iran has accepted the ceasefire proposal. Okay. And the official's name was Truce M. Bra. It's Trust Me Bro. It's a senior Iranian official. It's just the senior Iranian official. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Like, once again, could these guys at least, if they're gonna do this, post the fucking guy's name? I'm sorry if it irritates, like if I'm being unusually, like, I'm making too much of this. I'm just so tired of these fucking anonymous sources where, like, the guy who heard of this situation on the radio told me X, so I'm just gonna post it like it was like a verified, like, actual source. It's like the new one is people familiar with the situation, whatever that means. I don't know. It probably has. It probably is true. It just irritates me. Um, it's just like I don't know. And I get that that's just some random account that doesn't really matter, but major media outlets do this constantly with the like person familiar with the situation, and they just use that as a way to insert their own commentary, and it's often completely retarded. So, wasn't Vietnam a police action or something like that? Okay. So, we only have one source on this. Somebody from CNN posted something, and now we have a bunch of people who are reposting it. As I said, I think what Kamani should have done is he should have just like taken the L for like taken one for the team and just gone out and said, "Look, I'm gonna lead Friday prayers. If Israel wants to assassinate me, they can assassinate me, and just go out and lead Friday prayers and just let the Mossad shoot him." I mean, the guy's in like his 90s; he's not going to live that much longer. But if Israel assassinated him during a what was it a religious ceremony, that would have been like the mother of all PR wins. Okay, let's see what Netanyahu has to say. Okay, I wanna pull the chat. I wanna pull the chat. Press 1 if you think that this is a good faith ceasefire and it will last. Press 2 if you think Israel will violate it in less than a week and come up with some sort of explanation as to why the whole thing was Iran's fault. That's a lot of twos. Okay, and what are the odds that Trump will blame Iran? That what will happen is Israel violate the ceasefire, um, and they'll violate the ceasefire, and then immediately he'll come out against Iran and blame them. Okay, so basically everybody thinks it's that. But I mean, once again, I think this has proved that like the people who had the craziest, like most wild out there theories about how much influence they have over the government were proven correct. So I don't know. I'm just trying to see if I don't know. I saw some like MAGA people saying it was base that Trump bombed Iran. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a pussy or something. But like, I don't mind going to war. I just don't want to go to war for oh, fuck off, Jaden. I just don't want to go to war to die for Israel. So I don't know. So I'll probably be in after this the sour person who didn't trust the plan, who is making a big deal out of whatever. You know what the whole thing is like, with the Iranian getting away. It's like if the phrase, if the phrase had have done the Red Wedding, but they had let all the Stark Bannermen escape. That's kind of like what it was. Like you have all the bad PR of violating like sacred guest right, but without any of the benefits. Okay, let me see here. Okay, I'm gonna do something that's probably too edgy for YouTube, but I don't care. I might not read that out loud, but I think it's fairly obvious what I mean. Let me just make sure that's showing. I actually think this one is better than the cries out in pain as he strikes you one. I don't know. Am I being too hard on Red Eagle? Like, I don't know. He'll never tell you why. The JIDF, no, the IDF cries out in pain as he airstrikes you. So. Let's see here. Pennikins line up and get your wrong about everything award. No, you have to support Trump. You have to think that this was a good idea, or I don't know. You're not part of it. So I don't know. I just. Has anybody said anything? Like once again, if somebody wanted to say, if somebody wanted to say, what was it? Like, this is not enough for me to abandon Trump, but like I think you should criticize this. I think you can still be pro-Trump and criticize this and say this was a really bad idea. Trump like betrayed his base on a certain level. He broke kind of his promise. I think you can say that. Like you don't have to go like full on Trump is the worst person who's ever lived. But I don't know. I just like to say that it's like base that Trump is doing this. I don't like that. But so let me think. Was there anything else? Was there anything else? And I'm not even that innately like pro Iran. I just don't like people breaking their people using negotiations as a way to get their enemy to let their guard down. Let's see here. Just seeing if Khomeini's posted anything. Congratulations, world! It's time for peace. It's freedom is war. Like it is literally like war is peace at this point. Must pass legislation. He kind of looks a bit like an off-brand RFK. The big beautiful bill. Okay, so maybe I'll just give my concluding statement. So I don't know, guys. I think I don't know what to say. I think regardless, I've lost a lot of respect for Trump, at least on foreign policy. And if I was Putin or Xi or whoever, I would not trust him after this. I think this probably sinks. Well, this probably sinks any hope of a rapprochement with Russia. Um, I think that this sinks probably relations with China and relations with a lot of the global South, frankly. Um, and once again, it saddens me. This whole thing saddens me because a lot of what Trump does theoretically are things I agree with. I agree with probably like 70 to 80% of his agenda. It's just it's done in the most like retarded, incompetent way possible, and it's just there's just constant drama. And I mean, let's think about this for a minute. The White House does not really issue press briefings anymore. Trump just posts boomer posts on Truth Social at like 3 in the morning. I will say one thing: Trump did resolve the Russo-Ukraine war. I haven't heard about it in like the last week or two, so I guess it was resolved. I guess they stayed as long as it took. They wouldn't allow themselves to be distracted. They didn't. They kept their eye on the prize, and it succeeded. So, just a tribute to them. Seriously though, so my estimation was, I thought that the Ukrainian army would be in operational collapse by the end of the summer. It's a little vague what that means. Basically, I thought that they would be incapable of meaningful, uh, coordinated action by the end of August. Is around what I thought. I don't think the war will necessarily be over. I think some of the cities will probably fight on longer. You might have parts of the front that hold longer than that, but it's going pretty quick at this point in time. Um, and I don't know, like those supplies have to run out at some point. And I think I just think Putin's probably given up on any kind of negotiated settlement at this point in time. I think the Russians are starting to move towards Sumy. It's all over the place. I guess like we'll know when the final like phase begins when the Dnieper bridges get blown up. I think that's going to be the sign that they're just going to switch back to mobile warfare. They're still kind of just going forward at a fairly steady pace. It's accelerating, but you might see like some big offensives once they blow the Dnieper bridges. But it's rough. Anyways, guys, God bless. Thanks for watching the video. Oh, by the way, if you haven't watched it already, check out the video I did earlier today. Took a lot of time making it. Let me just post it in the comments. I've been trying to do less streams and less news and more like original content. So I did my video where I looked at the most powerful, successful political parties in history. I actually thought it was pretty interesting. If you're not into political science, maybe it's not your thing, but definitely